as an option
Oh, I see.
listed.
Sure. It was in my script, but it wasn't on the slide that was projected. I
I
follow
think
you
it'll
now.
be just a good reference point for the board members to take a look at too, and know that that is certainly a
Understood.
consideration
Okay.
from the
Thank you for
committee
that
as
feedback.
well. It's a difficult decision. I know that last December, when we had our board meeting, Mr. Blankenship had shared with us information regarding enrollment and the decline in just our enrollment within the 10-year span. And so that certainly, I think, is a factor that we all have to consider too, is where is the growth? And according to the data that was shared with us, and again, it was all just projected here, it does appear that there's going to be potentially a decline in Bedford County in our enrollment. Now, that certainly doesn't mean that in the Forest area that growth will not occur there. I think it's pretty apparent that there is growth that will take place in the Forest area. And so that's something as a board we have to consider as well. How do we address that capacity issue in the Forest area? But for now, I think our immediate attention should be drawn to those schools that are at full capacity and looking at options to best alleviate that. Matt, I don't know if you want to add anything.
I mean, that's pretty much laid out there, and then what you said to add, I think that's about it.
That concludes our presentation, so we'll turn it back to the
Are there
chair.
any other questions?
I have some comments.
Okay.
I know previously when we saw reports, it showed, overcapacity at certain schools. And now when I'm looking at this data, really based on your projections for next year, we're sitting at 100% only at one school, and that's New London. And keep me honest here, because I want to make sure I'm following. So really, we're having discussions, and we should be having these discussions. But to me, we are impacting a minimum of 101 kids. That's a minimum. And we're doing it for what? To change capacity numbers from one school to another? And I understand growth, but nothing is certain that we're going to get those students. I mean, I know the 1.3, is that the number you?
Well, it's 0.13, yeah.
0.13, okay. So, I mean, could that change the following year? Yes. But to me, and again, I'm not saying yes or no, I'm just trying to put, because I mean, we're talking forest zone is what we're impacting. 101 students at a minimum. We're not adding any students to any other high school zone. So all we're doing is literally shifting these kids, say from Forest Elementary to Thomas Jefferson, both great schools, but we're impacting those kids. It sounds simple to us to move them from one place to another. Oh, you can stay there, but I need you to provide transportation. Yes, in most cases, forest kids are dropped off in a car, but there are families who are going to now have to provide that transportation. And frankly, right now is not a good time to be adding to the bottom line budget of families. And again, I'm not saying yes or no. I just want to make sure we're thinking through this clearly to say, hey, we need to go do this now. If we could say out of those, and believe me, I drive it every day. I mean, I'm in that traffic. This morning I was in that traffic of these new towns.